Hello everyone. So this is the module number 5, water resource management. In that water resource management, the final module, water harvesting and conservation. So how do we conserve the water and what are the various techniques of harvesting of the water has been dealt here. This is one of the most easiest module of the whole subject. So coming to the introduction, water harvesting. So what do you mean by water harvesting? It is the activity of direct collection of rainwater. It mainly means capturing the rainwater when it falls and capture the runoff from the catchment streams. So runoff is a waste of water. If it is not captured, it will be going to the sea water and it can't be used. So capturing of that rainwater is water harvesting. This collected water could be stored for later use and recharged into groundwater again. So this is collected and it can be reused, and the aquifers whichever are there they can be recharged. This includes all means that induce, collect, store and conserve rainwater. So what are the various principles behind this? So what are the various techniques? What are the things that we have to remember before harvesting the rainwater? So first one is, in deciding which technique to use to make more efficient use of available water, it is important to consider how crops receive and lose water. So mainly the water which is received by the plants. So why are we conserving the water? For our use and mainly for the irrigation purpose. So we have to know how the crops will receive the water or lose the water. So first one is, crops receive the water through rainfall, irrigation and stored soil water. So there is rainfall and there is irrigation that we do artificially, the humans do, and the stored soil water, that is soil will have some amount of water always. They lose through runoff, evaporation and drainage. Okay, so they mainly lose water through runoff. Second one is evaporation through their stomata. Third one is drainage. Some of the key principles are: use rainwater effectively. So these are the principles. So first thing we have to do is we have to use the rainfall very effectively. So the rainfall is unevenly distributed to many areas and they have droughts where there is no sufficient rainfall, like Rajasthan they have droughts and there the crops cannot readily get the water. So in such areas, techniques such as external catchment area or rooftop collection can increase the availability of water. External catchment is nothing but we have to dig a pit and we have to way or make a way to the runoff to the which goes to that dig or which goes and collects in that pit. So second principle is, make effective use of soil water reserve. The soil stores water from the rainfall, which in turn provides reserve that is available. The amount of availability of water depends on soil type and roofing system. So whatever the water is present in the soil, we have to conserve it. We have to easily or we have to use it very effectively, and it has to be available in all the time for the plants. So we have to see that what type of soil we are growing on, because various soil will have various storage capacities. Third point, take measure to avoid runoff. Runoff is where water is not absorbed to soil and runs across the surface structures such as contour scheme, terracing, pits and bund can reduce the runoff. So runoff is the water it is not absorbed by the soil and it is wasted. So that's why we have to do contours or terracing or pits, or we have to do bunds so that the runoff is reduced. Avoid wasting water through evaporation. That is the fourth principle. Water that evaporated directly from soil is wasteful as it is not used by the plants. It is desirable to maintain full ground cover for as much as time possible. Use of drip irrigation and irrigation in evening will also reduce the evaporation. So one thing we can do is we need to do evaporation irrigation at the time of evening. That is because in the evening there will be no sun, and because of less heat and light, the evaporation will be less. Also, we need to do something called as drip irrigation. Drip irrigation is the one where the water is used in a very low quantity, and it is seen that the water whichever is used, it is directly given to the roots of the plants only, so that the evaporation will reduce. Also, we need to cover the whole area, the barren land whichever is there, it has to be covered fully by the soil. The soil has to be covered by the crops. So if the crops are there, there will be less evaporation from the soil. Okay. Next principle is reduce water level through drainages. When water drains from soil, not only water but nutrients such as nitrogen are also wasted. This problem exists on sandy and clayey soil. Addition of organic matter will reduce the drainage as soil can hold more water. So if there is a drainage in the soil, the water cannot be hold more in the soil. That is drainage. It will go and it will be wasted. The water holding capacity should be increased by using organic matter. Organic matter is nothing but the fertilizers or naturally available fertilizers has to be mainly used. Not only water, you will also lose the minerals and nutrients which are mainly very helpful for the plants. Sixth one, planning of irrigation. Irrigation is one way of supplementing water from the rainfall and soil reserve, but it wastes large amount of water if not handled carefully. Irrigation must be done only when necessary. Okay, so irrigation is the supplement of the water rather than only depending on the rainfall. But so much of water is wasted in the irrigation. So drip irrigation is most suitable in water scarce area. Irrigation can be done at the time of germination and fruit set. Only irrigation, it's not necessary that whole year, whole span of the plants it has to be irrigated. No, only at the time of germination and at the time of seeding of the fruit the irrigation can also be done. So we have to plan the irrigation properly to harvest the water. Next, so we know all the principles, right? So what are the various water harvesting techniques? Let us see. Various techniques will be suitable for various conditions. So if the harvesting of the water is suitable for here, for Mangalore, it will not be suitable for any other area such as Chikmagalur or Ballari. It will be different. So a technique useful in one area may not be in other. It is important to note that techniques are locally developed or adopted with specific conditions. Types of water harvesting methods are there are two. First one is micro catchment, second one is macro catchment. So what is micro catchment? This system collects surface runoff as a sheet flow over a short distance from a small catchment area around 1000 square meter. Runoff water is usually applied to agricultural area where it is stored in root zone that can be used directly by the plants and can also be stored in small reservoir around plant for later use. So this is a catchment of a small amount of water. Next one, macro catchment. They are characterized having runoff water collection relatively from a larger catchment area. Mainly when flood will happen, the macro catchment will come into picture. Runoff capture is lower than micro catchment. So runoff will happen at the time of rainfall, not during the floods. Flood is not known as runoff, it is known as flood itself. Okay, so runoff it is not mainly captured in the macro catchment, it is done in the micro catchment technique. So these are some of the various micro catchment methods. So there are nearly 11 of them. First one is contour farming, or it is also called as contour cultivation, and in the bracket it is also known as contour farming, contour plowing, or contour bunding. It is a suitable way of farming where farmers plant crops across or perpendicular to slopes to follow the contours of the slope of a field. So contouring will be done In that contouring, the farmers were planted perpendicularly so that the water will flow in the direction of the plants itself. This arrangement of plants break up the flow of water and makes it harder for soil erosion to occur. So as this is mainly done because of the contouring, the erosion of the soil will be decreased and also plants will get more water. Contour plowing, the farming practice of plowing or planting across the slope. So there is a slope and it is planted likewise in the slope area. Its elevation is also known as contour lines. These contour lines create a water break which reduces the formation of rills and gullies during times of heavy water runoff, which is a major cause of soil erosion. So because of the runoff itself, we will get soil erosion. So if we do contour forming, this will be reduced. Water break also allows more time of water to settle into soil. In contour plowing, the ruts made by the plow run perpendicular rather than parallel to the slopes, generally resulting in furrows that curve around the land and are level. So all the slopes, whatever is there, it will mainly stop the water from flowing out. This method is also known as preventing tillage erosion. Tillage is nothing but the soil which is made readily for the plowing or which is made readily for the farming. The soil which is made ready. So if you go to any area, if there is land and if farming is not done over there, the soil or the visibility of the soil will be very different, the appearance will be very different. And in the other case, if you go to any other soil of farming, there will be dugout, right? There will be, the soil will be made ready for the farming, that is called as tillage. Contour furrow. Contour furrow and ridges are constructed along contour line strips. Cultivators or cropping is growing of a cultivated crops or corn in strips alternating with strips of sod forming crops arranged to follow an approximate contour of land and minimize erosion. So in this, ridges are mainly constructed and two types of plants are mainly grown. So one can be as crop, other can be hay. So these will be forming a furrow, and so that these will minimize the erosion and also helpful for the formation of contour. Next one, terrace farming. Terrace farming is a method of farming that consists of different steps or terrace that are developed in various places around the world. So the irrigation will be done in the way of steps. There is a shape of stepping done over there. So in this method, the steps whatever are there, in each step the plants will be grown. So at the top of the hill it will be mainly done, and the hill will be cut in such a way that it will form steps. So this water whatever is put on the top of the area for the plants, it takes how much ever water it wants and the other water will be flown through. So as a result, the downwards or the plant subsequent to the next top plant, it will receive the water. So in that way we can decrease the wastage of water. Next, stone lines. It slows down runoff, increases water filtration, and sediment is captured behind semi-permeable barriers, improving production. So stone lines is nothing but, as we do the farming, a big rocks are taken into account and they are placed and they are made as a compound like structure, so that the water is there, it will not go in the other direction which is not required. A perennial grass can supplement the lines where stones is scarce. If there is no stone, so in the stone lines we are mainly making that the water is not escaping from the farmer's land. Okay, we are making a barrier, that's all. Okay, so a perennial grass supplement. So if we don't have any stones, we can also make use of this grass, or we can also plant grass. This technique is readily adopted by the resource poor farmers and lead to a harvest even in years with low and erratic rainfall. So as we have built stone lines or a border, the water which is there, it stays there and it again recharges the plants, or irrigation can be done easily over there. Retention ditches work on a similar principle to that of contour furrows, but on a larger scale. They are large ditches designed to catch and retain all incoming runoff and hold it until it infiltrates into ground. So there is a ditch which is made into account, or which is made, and all the water will stay there. Okay, in Kannada we can call it as Gandi. In that the water will be stored, and subsequently the water will be infiltrated to the ground. So this increases the supply of water to crop plants and in the ditch and reducing the soil erosion. Next one is the semicircular bunds. These are used for rehabilitate degradation, denuding and hardening of land for crop growing, grazing and forestry. This technology involves building low embankment with complicated earth or stones in form of a semicircle in opening to perpendicular flow of water and arranged in staggered rows. So wherever the land is very hard, in that a semicircular bund is created. In that inside that bund the plant is mainly grown, and as it is semicircle it acts as a uh, it acts as a duct, or it acts as a ditch in which the water is collected so that the roots can absorb that water. They are constructed on a gently to moderately sloping pediments and plateau areas in order to rehabilitate areas that are degraded or affected by soil crusting. The bunds reduce the loss of water and the fertile layers of the soil. Cover crops. So cover crops is nothing but, rather than leaving the whole area of land empty, these lands are covered with crops so that the soil fertility will increase, also the erosion will decrease. Okay, so as you can see in the slide, as plants are planted to cover the whole soil rather than being just for harvesting. Cover crops manage soil erosion, soil fertility, soil quality, water weeds, pest diseases, biodiversity, and wildlife in agroecosystem. An ecological system managed and shaped by humans to cover crops may be an off-season crop planted after harvesting the cash crops. So after harvesting the cash crop like rice or wheat, after its harvesting, rather than just emptily leaving the whole land, here we are again growing the crops. It is not really harvested. It is just for decreasing of the soil erosion and increasing the fertility of soil. Drip irrigation. So drip irrigation is a type of micro irrigation system that has the potential to save water and nutrients by allowing the water to drip slowly to the roots of the plants, either from above the soil surface or buried below the surface. The goal is to place water directly into the root zone and minimize the evaporation. So the water, the drips, drop like structure will be created, and these drops will be directly made to flow into the roots. Conservation tillage. So tillage system that creates a suitable soil environment for growing a crop, and that conserves soil, water and resources mainly through the reduction of intensity of tillage. So tillage, the soil has to be properly made ready so that the energy is mainly conserved. Also resources are mainly conserved. Next one, external catchment involves directing runoff water from surrounding area into a catchment which can be benefited purpose for domestic livestock. It requires large uncultivated land which is difficult in this large populated area. So a big pit is mainly made, and that will be collecting the runoff. It is known as external catchment. Next, earth basins. These are designed to collect and hold rainfall that can be easily constructed by hands. They are square or rectangle in shape with earth ridges on all sides. Runoff water is challenged to lowest point in an infiltration pit or in a sloping corner or in the middle of flat land. So these can be constructed through hands, and these will be in a shape of rectangle or square. Rooftop harvesting. It can store large amount of water in rainy season. Runoff from rooftop is collected in plastic gutters and directed to storage tank and is covered with opaque covers. So as you can see here, the first one is the contour farming. So as you can see here, there are contours and there is a irrigation, so that there is less soil degradation and less soil erosion. This is the contour farming. Next one is the terrace farming. As you can see, steps like structures are built over here. So when we water or when we give the water over here, the excess of water will go to the next plant below it, so that the water is not wasted. This is the stone lines. As you can see, he is making the borders or fence like structure by using the stone, so that the water will stay there itself. Okay, so the water will stay in this area itself. This is the retention ditches. So as you can see here, the water is mainly retained here and it will be infiltrated in the subsequent days. Next one is the semicircular bunds. So as you can see, in this way the bunds are created, a small trench. In this the water will be stored and the plants can grow. Next one is cover cropping. So because of the cover cropping, that is we are planting crops after the harvesting of the main crop. So first one is building soil health. It will build the soil health. Second one is nutrient retention. So the nutrients will be retained as the plants will be taking up all the nutrients. It will decrease the soil erosion and also it will decrease the weeds. Next one is the drip irrigation. As you can see here, the plants will get the water to the roots directly from the drops of water. It will decrease the evaporation and also the runoff. Conservation tillage. As you can see here, the soil which is made ready for the farming, it will be decreased. So optimally it will be